What if everything you want in life, more money, better health, stronger confidence, and real success, was not about luck, talent, or massive overnight change? What if the truth was this? Your life today is the result of small decisions you made yesterday, and your future will be shaped by the small decisions you make starting today. This is the powerful idea behind the compound effect by Darren Hardy. In this video series, we will break down the entire book into 5 deep parts. And by the end, you'll understand why tiny, consistent actions, when repeated daily, can completely transform your life in ways most people never experience. This is part 1, where everything begins. The compound effect is not complicated. In fact, that's exactly why most people ignore it. Darren Hardy defines the compound effect as the principle of reaping huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices over time. No shortcuts, no hacks, no overnight success. Just small actions done consistently over a long period of time. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people fail not because they make big mistakes, but because they make small bad choices every single day. Small choices are never small. Let's look at a simple example Darren Hardy gives. Imagine 3 friends. Person A changes nothing. Person B makes tiny positive changes. Person C makes tiny negative changes. At first, nothing looks different. After 1 week, no difference. After 1 month, still no difference. After 6 months, still almost nothing. But after 2 years, person B is healthier, wealthier, more confident. Person C is overweight, stressed, and struggling. Person A is stuck exactly where they started. The difference wasn't dramatic actions. It was small daily choices. That's the compound effect. Why most people never see it coming. The compound effect works slowly and silently. There is no instant feedback, no immediate reward, no applause. And that's why most people quit. They say, this isn't working. I don't see results. What's the point? But the compound effect is like interest in a bank account. At first it feels useless. Later it becomes unstoppable. Here's something most people don't realize. You are already using the compound effect. Just not always in your favor. Every habit you have, every routine you follow, every decision you repeat, they are all compounding right now, whether you want them to or not. Good compounding versus bad compounding. Skipping workouts compounds into poor health. Eating junk food compounds into low energy. Procrastination compounds into stress and failure. But also, reading 10 pages a day compounds into knowledge. Saving small amounts compounds into wealth. And practicing a skill compounds into mastery. The compound effect doesn't care if the habit is good or bad. It simply multiplies whatever you feed it. Success is boring, and that's why it works. One of the most powerful ideas in this book is this. Success is simple, but it is not easy. Why? Because success is boring. Waking up early, tracking habits, repeating small actions, saying no to comfort. Most people want excitement. They want dramatic change. They want motivation. But winners rely on discipline, not motivation. Before Darren Hardy talks about habits, money, or success, he talks about responsibility. And this is where many people get uncomfortable. 100% responsibility rule. Darren Hardy says you are where you are because of the choices you made. Not your parents, not your boss, not the economy, not bad luck. This doesn't mean life is fair. It means you are in control of your response. The moment you take full responsibility, you take back your power. Blame is the enemy of progress. Blame feels good in the moment, but it destroys growth. When you blame, you stop learning, you stop improving, you give up control. Responsibility is uncomfortable, but it's the only place where change begins. You cannot improve what you do not measure. This is one of the most practical lessons in the book. Why awareness is a superpower. Most people don't know how much they spend, don't know how much time they waste, don't know how many calories they eat, don't know how inconsistent they are. And because they don't know, they can't change. The power of tracking. Darren Hardy challenges readers to track money, time, food, habits, productivity. Not forever, just long enough to become aware. Awareness alone can change behavior without effort. Example, the latte effect. A 5 coffee doesn't feel dangerous, but 5 every day, 150 month. 150 month, you 1/800 year. 1/800 year for 20 years, or 36,000 plus. Small expenses compound quietly, so do small wastes of time. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in the compound effect. When you're stopped, everything feels hard. When you're moving, everything feels easier. Progress creates motivation, not the other way around. Most people wait to feel motivated. But motivation comes after action, not before. One small win creates confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Momentum creates success. The snowball effect. One good habit leads to another. One positive action builds belief. One disciplined day becomes a disciplined life. But you must start, even when it feels pointless. Let's summarize the foundation of the compound effect. Small choices matter more than big decisions. Consistency beats intensity every time. You are already compounding. Choose wisely. Responsibility gives you control. Awareness creates transformation. Momentum is built, not found. This is just the beginning. Have you ever wondered why you promise yourself you'll change, but weeks later nothing actually changes? Why motivation disappears? Why discipline feels impossible? Why bad habits keep pulling you back? The answer is simple and uncomfortable. Your habits are stronger than your goals. In part 2 of the compound effect, Darren Hardy explains how habits silently control up to 95% of your daily behavior, and how mastering them is the real key to long-term success. Your life today is not an accident. It is the direct result of what you do repeatedly, what you do automatically, what you do without thinking. These are your habits. Darren Hardy explains that habits are like software programs running in the background of your life. Once installed, they require little energy, run automatically, control your actions without permission. That's why habits are so powerful and dangerous. Good habits versus bad habits. The scary part? Bad habits feel harmless in the moment. One skipped workout. One unhealthy meal. An hour wasted scrolling. Each choice feels insignificant, but when repeated daily, they compound into massive consequences. The same is true for good habits. Or reading 10 minutes a day. Saving a small amount of money, practicing a skill briefly. The difference isn't effort, it's consistency over time. Why willpower always fails. Most people believe success comes from willpower. They say, I just need more discipline. I'll try harder next time. I'll start when I feel motivated, but Darren Hardy makes this clear. Willpower is unreliable. Willpower is limited, emotional, easily exhausted. That's why relying on willpower alone is a losing strategy. Habits don't appear overnight. They are created through a simple loop. Cue, routine, reward. Cue, a trigger that starts the behavior. Routine, the action you take. Reward, the benefit your brain receives. Your brain loves efficiency. Once it finds a loop that works, it repeats it automatically. Example, the morning phone habit. Cue, you wake up. Routine, you grab your phone. Reward, dopamine from notifications. Repeat this enough times and now it's automatic. No decision required. Why bad habits are hard to break. Bad habits aren't weak habits. They are well-trained habits. They've been repeated hundreds or thousands of times. So when people say, I don't know why I keep doing this, the truth is, your brain knows exactly why. One of the most important lessons in the book. You don't eliminate habits, you replace them. Trying to stop a habit creates resistance, but replacing it redirects the habit loop. The replacement strategy. Same cue, different routine, same or better reward. For example, cue stress. Old habit, junk food. New habit, walk, water, breathing. Your brain still gets relief, but in a healthier way. Why most people fail at change. They try to change everything at once. Use motivation instead of systems. Rely on feelings instead of structure. And then they quit. Darren Hardy emphasizes, success comes from doing fewer things better. This is where the compound effect becomes practical. Darren Hardy says, make your habits so small you feel stupid not doing them. Why? Because small habits remove resistance. Small habits build consistency. Small habits create momentum. The power of micro commitments. 5 push-ups, 5 minutes of reading, 1 glass of water, 1 sales call. Small actions done daily beat big actions done rarely. Consistency over intensity. Most people go extreme. Hard workouts, strict diets, massive goals. They burn out. Winners go consistent, not extreme. One of the most underrated success tools is environment design. Darren Hardy explains, your environment shapes your behavior more than motivation. If junk food is visible, you'll eat it. If your phone is nearby, you'll use it. If distractions are everywhere, you'll lose focus. Remove temptation, don't fight it. Instead of fighting yourself, remove junk food from your house. Turn off notifications. Block distracting websites. Keep books visible. Prepare gym clothes in advance. Make good habits easy. Make bad habits hard. You become what surrounds you. Your environment includes physical space, digital content, people you spend time with. Darren Hardy warns, you will never outperform your environment. You are the average of the people you listen to, the conversations you have, the standards you tolerate. This isn't motivation, it's psychology. Why associations matter. If your circle complains constantly, avoids responsibility, settles for mediocrity, you will too. If your circle values growth, takes responsibility, pushes standards, you rise naturally. Audit your circle. Darren Hardy suggests asking, who inspires me? Who drains me? Who pushes me forward? Who keeps me stuck? Change doesn't always require cutting people off, but it does require setting boundaries. People think routines are boring, but Darren Hardy says structure creates freedom. When your habits are automatic, you save energy. You reduce stress, you make better decisions. Successful people decide once a month. They don't decide daily whether to exercise, read, work, save money. They decide once and turn it into a routine. That's why it looks effortless. Let's lock in the lessons. Habits control most of your life. Willpower is unreliable. Systems win. Habits follow a cue routine reward loop. Replace habits. Don't fight them. Start embarrassingly small. Environment shapes behavior. Your circle influences your standards. Routines create long-term freedom. You may believe your life is shaped by your decisions. But what if most of your decisions aren't fully yours? What if unseen forces, the media you consume, the people you listen to, the environment you live in, are quietly steering your behavior every single day? In part 3, Darren Hardy reveals one of the most dangerous truths about success. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your influences. If you want to change your results, you must first change what's influencing you. Influence is powerful because it's invisible. Most people don't realize they are being influenced at all. They believe, this is just who I am. This is my personality. This is how life works. But Darren Hardy explains, every belief, habit, and behavior you have was influenced by something. Nothing developed in isolation. The 3 major influences. According to the compound effect, there are 3 primary forces shaping your life. Input, what you consume. Associations, who you spend time with. Environment, where you live and work. If even one of these is toxic, your progress will always be limited. Your mind is like a supercomputer, and every day you are programming it, whether you realize it or not. Garbage in, garbage out. Darren Hardy is brutally honest here. You cannot build a successful life with a polluted mind. If you constantly consume negative news, violent entertainment, gossip, complaints, fear-based media, then negativity becomes your default mindset. Not because you want it to, but because repetition creates belief. The media effect. Turn on the news for 30 minutes. What do you see? Fear, anger, conflict, crisis, hopelessness. Now imagine consuming that daily for years. That input compounds into anxiety, pessimism, distrust, low expectations, and then people wonder why they feel stuck. You become what you consume. Darren Hardy emphasizes, your thoughts shape your actions shape your habits shape your destiny. So if your thoughts are constantly influenced by negativity, your future will reflect it. The input audit. Hardy challenges you to ask, what am I reading? What am I watching? What am I listening to? What conversations am I absorbing? Even 30 minutes of positive input per day can start rewiring your mindset. You've probably heard this quote before. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But Darren Hardy takes this idea even further. It's not just who you see, it's who you listen to. Influence doesn't require physical presence. You are influenced by podcasts, YouTube creators, social media voices, authors, mentors you've never met. These voices shape your standards, your expectations, your beliefs about what's possible, the dangerous comfort zone. Many people stay around negative influences because it feels safe. Friends who complain, family members who doubt, coworkers who settle. Growth makes others uncomfortable. And sometimes your progress threatens people who chose not to grow. This is where most people sabotage themselves. They say, I don't want to change. I don't want to seem arrogant. This is just how my circle is. But Darren Hardy is clear. You don't need to abandon people, but you do need to stop allowing them to control your standards. Boundaries are not rejection. They are protection. Your environment is constantly influencing you, even when you're not aware of it. Your environment is stronger than your intentions. If your environment supports distraction, you will be distracted. If it supports laziness, you will struggle with discipline. If it supports growth, progress becomes natural. Examples of environmental influence. A cluttered desk creates mental clutter. A noisy space kills focus. A phone-filled bedroom destroys sleep. A negative workplace drains ambition. You don't need more motivation. You need better surroundings. Design your environment for success. Darren Hardy encourages proactive design. Remove distractions before they tempt you. Place success tools where you can see them. Reduce friction for good habits. Increase friction for bad habits. Success should be the default option. One of the most modern warnings in the compound effect is about constant distraction. The cost of distraction. Every notification breaks focus, wastes mental energy, reduces deep thinking, and deep thinking is required for creativity, strategy, long-term success. Darren Hardy warns, you cannot live an extraordinary life with an ordinary level of focus. The scrolling trap. Social media doesn't just waste time, it subtly lowers attention span, creates comparison, weakens self-worth, encourages instant gratification, all of which destroy the compound effect. Protect your attention like your future depends on it, because it does. Hardy suggests scheduled media consumption, limited social platforms, intentional information diets, focused work blocks. Attention is your most valuable asset. Here's a powerful truth. You don't get what you want. You get what you tolerate. Your standards determine how you work, what you accept, who you become. Most people don't fail. They set low standards. They say, this is good enough. At least I tried. I'll do better tomorrow. But winners ask, is this my best? Does this match who I want to become? Small standard shifts create massive change. Raising standards doesn't require massive effort. It starts with showing up on time, finishing what you start, keeping promises to yourself, refusing excuses. These choices compound into self-respect. The most powerful influence of all is how you see yourself. You act in alignment with your identity. If you believe, I'm lazy, you act lazy. I'm bad with money, you avoid growth. I'm disciplined, you act disciplined. Change your identity and behavior follows. Ask this question daily. What would the person I want to become do right now? Then do that. Identity-driven action compounds faster than motivation ever could. Let's lock this in. Influences shape behavior more than intention. What you consume mentally becomes your reality. Associations raise or lower your standards. Environment silently controls discipline. Distraction destroys compounding growth. You get what you tolerate. Identity drives long-term success. What if the reason most people fail is not lack of talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but lack of patience? What if success is not about doing something big, but about doing something small longer than everyone else is willing to? In part 4, Darren Hardy explains the most difficult truth of all. The compound effect only works for those who refuse to quit. This is the chapter where winners are separated from everyone else. Consistency is boring. Consistency is repetitive. Consistency feels unrewarded. And that's exactly why it works. Darren Hardy makes this very clear. The compound effect is always working, but it rewards consistency, not intensity. Why most people lose. Most people start strong. New goals, high motivation, big excitement. But motivation fades. When results don't show up quickly, they assume, this isn't working. Maybe this isn't for me. I'll try something else. And the compounding process resets to zero. The cost of stopping. Every time you quit, you lose momentum. You lose belief. You lose progress you can't see. The compound effect punishes inconsistency and rewards those who simply stay in the game. One of the most important concepts in the entire book is the compounding curve. The delayed reward trap. In the beginning, effort feels high, results feel invisible. This is where most people quit. But Darren Hardy explains, success is delayed gratification multiplied by consistency. Progress is happening. It's just not visible yet. The BAM moment. Hardy calls it the breakthrough and momentum moment. The point where results finally become obvious. This is when income jumps, confidence skyrockets, growth feels exponential, but only those who stayed consistent long enough ever reach it. Quit too soon, lose everything. Many people quit. One step before progress, one habit before mastery, 1 year before transformation. The tragedy is not failure. It's quitting right before success. Consistency becomes easier when you can see progress, even small progress. Why tracking builds discipline. Tracking creates awareness, reinforces accountability, makes effort visible. Darren Hardy emphasizes, what gets measured improves. Even when results are small, tracking proves you are moving forward. Don't track results, track actions. This is critical. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control actions. Track days you showed up, habits completed, effort invested. Results will follow automatically. Momentum is a force. Once it starts, it becomes easier to keep going. How momentum is created. Momentum starts with small wins, repeated action, daily progress. Then, confidence grows, resistance decreases, discipline becomes identity. Darren Hardy explains, success doesn't get easier, you get stronger. The danger of breaking the chain. When you stop, momentum dies, resistance returns, discipline weakens. That's why consistency, even imperfect consistency, is better than stopping completely. Discipline is not punishment, it's a choice. 2 types of pain. Darren Hardy introduces a powerful idea. Everyone experiences pain. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline weighs ounces. Regret weighs tons. Discipline is self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, do what you said you would do, show up when it's hard, you build self-trust, and self-trust compounds into confidence. In a world of instant gratification, patience has become rare. Why patience is a competitive advantage. Most people want fast money, quick results, immediate validation, but extraordinary success requires time, repetition, long-term thinking. Those who can wait win. Play the long game. Darren Hardy encourages readers to ask, where will this choice take me in 5 years? Short-term pleasure rarely leads to long-term success. Every journey has a moment where quitting feels justified. This is the moment that defines you. What winners do differently. Winners expect resistance, prepare for boredom, commit before motivation disappears. They don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, who am I committed to becoming? You must believe in the compound effect. Before you can see it, belief precedes results. No visible proof does not mean no progress. Faith means continuing, even when nothing seems to be happening. This is why most people never win. Not because they're incapable, but because they don't stay consistent long enough. Let's lock in the lessons. Consistency beats motivation every time. Results are delayed, but guaranteed. Momentum makes success easier. Track actions, not outcomes. Discipline builds self-respect. Patience separates winners from quitters. Quitting resets progress to 0. What if success was not something you chased, but something you designed? What if your future wasn't controlled by luck, talent, or timing, but by a simple formula you could follow for the rest of your life? In this final part of the compound effect, Darren Hardy reveals the complete system. The mindset, behaviors, and commitments required to create extraordinary results that last. This is where everything comes together. At the heart of the book is a simple but powerful equation. Small, smart choices. Consistency, time, radical difference. This formula works every time, for everyone, in every area of life, but only if you commit fully. Why most people never apply the formula. Not because it doesn't work, but because it requires discipline when no one is watching, patience when results are invisible, faith when progress feels slow. Most people want results before they commit. Winners commit before results show up. One of the most surprising lessons in the book is that success itself can become a trap. Success can make you lazy. When things start going well, you relax. You skip routines. You lower standards. And slowly the habits that created success disappear. Darren Hardy warns, success is rented, not owned, and rent is due every single day. Never stop doing the small things. The same habits that built success are the habits that maintain it. Stop them and decline begins quietly. Everyone slips. The difference between winners and losers is not perfection, it's recovery speed. The all or nothing trap. Many people think, I messed up, so what's the point? I already failed today. This mindset destroys momentum. Darren Hardy explains, missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new habit. Get back on track immediately. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for next month. Don't wait for motivation. Restart immediately. Momentum is fragile, but recoverable. The ultimate goal of the compound effect is not results, it's identity change. When habits become who you are, at first, habits feel forced. Over time, they become natural. Eventually, they become, this is just who I am. You don't force discipline. You are disciplined. You don't chase success. You live it. Identity is your strongest defense. When identity shifts, temptation loses power. Consistency becomes easy. Quitting feels unnatural. This is when success becomes automatic. Goals are important, but misunderstood. Goals are direction, not destination. Goals give clarity. Create focus. Set standards. But habits are what actually get you there. Darren Hardy says, fall in love with the process, not the goal. Process-focused thinking. Instead of asking, did I reach the goal? Ask, did I show up today? Did I follow my system? Process creates progress. Most people let life happen to them. Winners design it. The power of long-term vision. Darren Hardy challenges readers to think 5 years ahead, 10 years ahead, beyond comfort and fear. Every small choice today is casting a vote for your future self. Future you is watching. Ask yourself, will my future self thank me for this decision or regret it? That question alone can change behavior instantly. Your growth doesn't just impact you, it impacts your family, your friends, your community, the next generation. Success is a responsibility. When you raise your standards, others notice, others follow, others believe it's possible. Your discipline gives permission for others to grow. At the end of the book, Darren Hardy asks for one thing: commit to the compound effect for life. Not for 30 days, not until it gets hard, not until results slow down. For life, the daily question. Every single day ask, what small, smart choice can I make right now that my future self will thank me for? Then do it. No matter how small, you don't need a new life, you need new habits. You don't need motivation, you need commitment. You don't need luck, you need consistency. The compound effect is already working in your life. The only question is it working for you or against you? Final call to action. If this series helped you, commit today to one small change and stick to it. Because 5 years from now, you'll wish you started today.